guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Scribbles with Barry. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome again. If you are stopping by for the first time, you're welcome to the family. Kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It will mean a lot to me. Let's learn and have fun together.
I won't go straight to the point.
So,
no time.
So guys, today I will be introducing a series, a marriage series, and I'll be starting today with the fantasies and realities of marriage. And with me here, I have whom I call a relationship expert or a relationship counselor.
You're mine now.
And he happens to be the person of Mr. Michael Ezekiel, and he, most importantly, is my darling husband. Yeah, he's an engineer, he's a father, he's a husband, he's a pastor, he's a relationship therapist, coach, counselor, and so on and so forth. And most times, I go to him for advice, with friends, with people, with colleagues and all that. And the kind of results I get, the advice I get, and it baffles me, his wisdom and speaking and advising and so lots. Finish talking and explaining, and I just begin to smile and wonder what height of intelligence and wisdom it is. And in a way, it just calms me down and it makes me reason well and make the right decision. So today we are going to be starting a series, a marriage series, but today I am introducing this series, so we're not going to go into much, but we're going to talk a little bit about marriage, about marriage fantasies and marriage realities. Those things before you get married, you envisioned your husband is going to do for you and you are going to do, and when you get into marriage, most times you don't see some of those things forthcoming, and that is not a sign that you married wrongly or you're doing something wrong. It's just we are going to talk about that in this video. We're going to talk about why it is like that and what you should do when you notice things like that. So it's just so wonderful, and I brought him on this channel to share some of this wisdom with you guys. So stay put, don't change the dial, watch till the end. Let's learn and have fun together.
I think if you hear her speaking, it will be as if she's a good girl, Abby. Don't mind her. That's how she's maltreating me. If you look at the camera, she carried the camera and face only herself, and then me and always one side. You guys are seeing it in reality, Abby. This is how marriage is, so this is how marriage is. And then sometimes they will just want to terrorize you. So you can see it live and direct.
Who is terrorizing you?
You can see it live and direct.
Let's get right into the business of today. So with me here we have Mr. Michael Ezekiel, and we'll be talking about the fantasies of marriage and marriage realities. So I'll give him time. Yeah, can you talk, maybe introduce yourself and tell us what we'll be talking about today?
Well, she has introduced me already, and what more can I say? She's the boss. Anything she says, she's right. They say the boss is always right, right? So she's right. Fantasies of marriage. The question is, what is even this marriage stuff? Many years ago, when I married, I remember one man meeting me meeting us walking on the way and said, "Look at these children." What you can remember is children marriage. It was quite funny, but in reality, it actually made some sense later. So sometimes marriage is nice, but the question is, people say it's good to marry your friends, right? So is it really good? What's the benefit of marrying your friends? Maybe I hear from you. Do you think it makes any meaning?
Okay, benefits of marrying your friend. Now I would start by saying that marrying your friend does not guarantee a quarrel-free marriage or a smooth ride through your marriage and all that, but I feel it is good to an extent we should also know and bear it in mind that even if someone we call friend can turn out later to be an enemy to us. For example, friends you grew up with, sometimes they still turn out to be someone to stab you at the back. So it happens. Yeah. It happens. Don't mind me, I'm looking down because I have my phone on recording. So yeah, so it doesn't guarantee a peaceful and a useful, relationship throughout the marriage time, but it helps in terms of you get to know what the person's likes and dislikes, and you get to know an extent of the person, how to deal with the person, how to relate, and even the period of your friendship, you've shared memories, you've created memories, which in turn sort of help you through the marriage process. Like sometimes I tell my husband that at times when I'm angry, I'm not happy about something, and I'm happy, I'm like, I will not talk to him, I will not talk to him throughout today. And at times I'll just remember how it started, how my friends, the joke we cracked, the fun we had, the things, the troubles, the challenges, and everything will just calm me down. I'll find myself smiling, and I'll just look at him and say, you have luck. So for me, that is a way, that is one of the benefits, of having of marrying your friend. I think that's what I can say for now.
If she's asking, I said I'll offend her. If you ask into the real thing, what did I do? It's nothing. She's the one that will be offending me, and yet she'll be getting angry for offending me. It's well, guys.
Nobody always agrees that he or she is at fault. So let's just leave it there.
Guys, you've seen it. You've seen it now. This is realities. It's good to marry your friends. However, it doesn't solve the problem, right? It has a little thing it covers. Like she has mentioned, okay, you can have some memories. But some of us that don't have good memories, what more can we say? People like me that my memories are very, very slim. Memories of, especially memories of things that were transient, they are very little. They don't really stay for too long. For example, I have a lot of friends, and I do well generally to people that I call my friends. I try to put myself in their shoes. I try to be nice to them. I try to solve problems that they have. I try to be that person, like who they can confide in, who they can run to when there's need. So when I'm doing all this, I don't register those things in my memory, because the idea was not for me to put record and start remembering those things. Because I was doing that thing from my heart. It was not because I needed anything in return. You get now. So sometimes, those memories don't last. So sometimes she remind me of some things that happened many years ago. I was like, really? Did that one really happen? I've forgotten. I've forgotten. And then you be hearing, you yourself, what do you even remember? Well, so many things to remember, right? Do you know how many going to school service already on his self-work? So putting too many things again on my head that is transient may not really be the case. But this is the point. Friendship should be meant for friendship. Should not be meant for what you are going to gain. This is the mistake people make. They build friendship because they have an agenda of marriage at the end of the day. That is a wrong concept, because if, for example, it didn't end up as marriage, you will now form enmity with that person. The next thing is both of you will try to not even talk to each other or not even have any contact with each other. And that's because we're building the friendship in a wrong foundation. At the same time, even if you eventually marry that person which you build friendship with, because the origin of the friendship was based on we were going to marry someday, then a lot of things were actually circulated around that space. So in that case, the friendship what had a focus it was actually narrowing to. And it was not a friendship what a friend should be in a general term. So in my own viewpoint, friendship is good, but be friends and try to cover that space of friends. This is another reason why I'm saying that. I know of situations whereby some people, they are there, they marry. No, not they married, they were friends and they wanted to marry. But at the end of the day, they didn't marry for one reason or the other. You see, start regretting. If I'd known, I wouldn't have gone this extra mile. If I would know, I wouldn't have given her my money or my whatever. If I've known, I wouldn't have given him my time and my resources or my ideas. And you start hearing some regrets. So at the end of the day, I just believe, there was an ulterior motive behind the friendship. So friendship should be friendship. She said we were friends. Only I know that one she talk. I know they deal. I think you hear me. I know they deal. However, I know they deal. I know they deal. Yeah. So, but however, we met. We knew each other. We talk. And in that same period, I also knew other people I was talking to. And they were just like, okay, these are people I call my friends. There was none of them which I said, okay, this is the person I'm going to marry tomorrow or not. And they were all my friends. It was at some point when I was trying to yap her, and then I got convictions differently. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is, and that conviction actually matched with a revelation I had many years ago. So friendship is good, but friendship doesn't solve the problem. It only helps in some scenarios, like, okay, memories line, right? So these are just two perspectives of it. For me, I see friendship as a different ball game. This is where it comes from. Like, okay, you build a relationship in friendship in the terms of, I can be selfless. I'm not looking for a gain from you, right? If at the end of the day, I benefit from this friendship and I gain from it, good. If I don't, no regrets, right? That is what friendship is all about. Friendship is not about you gaining. It's about you having someone you can confide in and throw in the curtain when the chips are down. So that's actually for what friendship comes in. But most important part, when you marry, those fantasies you had when you were friends will start changing. This is where the ball game is. This is where we are going to, right? This is actually where we are going to. When you were friends, because you're operating that platform of we are friends, there are certain things you did not consider, right? Her looks was probably what maybe attracted you to be friends with her, right? Those looks will start changing after marriage, maybe when she gives birth. So what happens? Does that mean that the friendship dies? That is where the problem comes in. Sometimes it's because of maybe how this person was talking. This person was like, in that vicinity you were, person was like the happening person, bubbling person, and everybody wants to associate with bubbling person. Then at some point, it's no longer bubbling. Maybe the trend start going down gradually. So how do you now judge that? This is where the challenge comes in. So friendship is good, but don't think that those fantasies you had during friendship will sustain you in marriage. They will not, because marriage is a total ball game entirely, total complete thing entirely. I give an instance. When we were friends, once in a while we'll go to Mr. Biggs. People that know Mr. Biggs, so this is Mr. Biggs that is close to Alakaya Junction. I don't know if they are still there or they have shut down. Once in a while, we just, maybe I'm coming from somewhere from town, and then maybe she's going back from home and from school and all that. Okay, I'm passing by here. Okay, we just meet in that place and then we buy one or two things, So these were some fantasies that this woman was enjoying. It was a really nice time for her.
Are you saying I'm a long throat?
No, actually be a long throat. It's not long throat now, but those were interesting things for her. Meanwhile, for me, it was a meeting point. So not because I love Mr. Biggs, I even hate eating outside. But little do we know that we were thinking things differently in this form. That is where marriage is different from friendship. Very totally different. And so for friendship, we could meet in places like this. But when we are married, we want to eat in the house, right? Some people say want to eat at a bar. That a bar will not get the one that they use pound. They use mortar and pound, those pound yam. It's the one that they use machine and mold, which I don't want to eat, So, but for her, those eateries and all those places were a nice meeting point, were a nice place to share minds and rub minds together. But for me, I believe in staying in my house, in my room, on top of my bed or on top of my couch, and then we express our feelings to each other, then we discuss and all that. But when we married, that's when my wife sees things have changed. So my husband has changed. He doesn't want to. Anytime she brings up issue of, okay, can we go out? Me, I'm always drawing back because it's not my thing. Guys, it was not my thing. That's not how I was brought up.
Okay. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
If it's not your thing, why were you doing it before marriage?
Simple. I didn't want you to come to my house. And you didn't have also a place I didn't want to go to your house. So it's a simple thing that since we could not go to each other's house, the easy place we can meet is in a neutral place. That was eateries, sometimes in the church. And I was not a prayer warrior, so assuming we're friends and we kept meeting in the church, you start saying, this my husband is very spiritual. Only for us to marry, you don't see me again in the church. Does that mean I'm no longer spiritual? Of course no. So it only means that that's what makes you understand that friendship has its own role it play, but there are some limitations that you can never find until when you are married. And that's how I used to tell people, see, no matter how good that person is, there are certain things you will never know or never see until you've entered inside the house. The day you say, I do. The day this madam said I do, that's when I started seeing some things in this madam. That certain things.
Are you talking about me or you? I don't understand. By the way, you're talking about eating outside. It's not eating outside.
Okay.
Yes, I know that, which I've come to understand. And one thing we should know, we are not just here to like expose ourselves or
who's exposing myself,
or to downgrade or to talk down on each other. We are saying it because by God's grace, we've been married for almost 10 years now. We've known each other. We knew each other for 5 years before we got married, and we'll be married by September. We'll be celebrating our 10th year anniversary.
Hey. So, and how many years friendship? I beg, remind me.
5 years. So altogether 15 years.
15 years.
15
and
years.
And yet you are still looking like small children.
Bubbling,
see them,
and enjoying and
children marriage.
So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that we're not here to talk down on each other, but just to tell or to to enlighten the young ones that are coming into marriage that has this hope, these expectations and aspirations from their spouse, that it may not always look like what you desired or what you actually wanted. Okay, so you should know that when you're going in, you should know that some of the expectations you have, you will see, some you may not see in that way. So we are trying to say this, and one thing you should know is that you should be understanding. In as much as at times I complain, I talk about it, I also try to understand that okay, of course things have changed. There are expectations now. Even, and I take myself as an example. I was this person that loved watching movies. I could stay a whole day if I'm not doing anything watching movies. And I remember a statement my mom made at a certain time. She was like, one day you'll be watching movie and the trumpet will sound and leave you. You're still here watching movie. So it was that bad. But now in marriage, I have a husband to take care of, a big baby, and I have kids to take care of. I have work, I have other things. I mean, you don't expect me to keep watching movies the way now. I hardly, even if I have all the time, I hardly watch movies. You don't even have the time. So things have changed, and sometimes I use myself as an example that okay, this is marriage, and some things people are busy if you don't work. So but apart from that, eating outside, which we try to find time to do that once a while, but I used to feel initially that okay, the love has gone down because you no longer take me out, to enjoy outside, eat, have fun, stuff like that. And I get to, to understand that there are some important things now. The work life, which was actually a problem. Before, during the years of friendship, if you'd cough, he would leave whatever he's doing, rush down where you are, cancel whatever. But now,
but I still cancel everything now.
Mr. Husband is on his laptop 247, working. I'm like, am I a log of wood? Am I a firewood? Use me and cook, please. We're in this house together. And it's like you're on your laptop 247. What is going on? I'm the only one working. Even you're working from home, you cannot be like, you understand? So I would like him to talk about that too. So
it's very simple, right? It's very simple. Now, when you are not married, your responsibility level is very low. The same things you do, and you can find time to switch in and switch out. When I was not married, we can be on talk from morning till night. In the night again, we enter phone call. Thank God for MTN midnight call. Those people, they hear we. So we enter midnight call, make calls almost throughout the night until maybe 4 a.m. and then you wake up. Why are you rushing to nowhere? You're a student, or maybe doing one or two things. In the morning around, you can sleep still, maybe around 9 if you like, and wake up and then go and find one or two things to continue. That was the fantasies of maybe early 20s or thereabouts. But as time grew on, your responsibility has changed. In this time of changing, you are thinking so many things, not just only about money alone. You're thinking even career. You're thinking also about the next day. And you women generally, they think about today, they don't care about tomorrow. They want to see if there's money, we eat that money today, don't worry. Tomorrow, not completely, of course, they plan for tomorrow, of course. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that generally women, when they want to think, they're a little bit narrow. Meanwhile, some men don't even think of today or tomorrow. They think about what will happen in the next 6 months. So our thinking differ, right? So some of these changes are natural. You will just see them happen. And thank God she brought this up. And that's why I said some things can never remain the same way. And these are the things that people deceive you for, or you deceive yourself for. I love this person. I love the personality of this person. This person is always there for me when I need the person. The person is always, like you say, you cough, the person has appeared. But this time around, you
like
are coughing.
Literally, guys.
You are coughing. The person is actually in a heat of what he's doing. And then, sorry, this cough, how is it? Is it very strong or very low? He has to start now calculating how intensive the cough is. However, when he knows that this cough is needed, this is what makes the difference. And this is why you should separate between friendship and marriage. There are coughs in marriage that you look for solution for without you rushing down there. But when in friendship, for example, especially when you had a lot of time in your hand, you can run anywhere, jump anywhere, right? It doesn't really matter. But in this case, your hand must be on deck in some certain situation. And you just have to make sure that those things are actually actualized. So it's actually a total different ball game. And let me not deceive you, just like she has said, she talked about watching movie and has changed. If I had told my wife, don't watch movie when we were about marrying, stop watching movie, we would have been fighting that movie thing till today. So guys, there are certain things that you look at as priority when you want to marry. If certain things are not priority, keep it one corner. On itself, it will fizzle out. But the problem is too many people, you fight to almost everything. Not everything you fight. Look at the things that are weightier in your relationship and fight those things. The rest things, just play around with them, and then you can say one or two things one time or the other. They will figure out a way and arrange themselves. So in summary, in this particular part of the thing, not everything you see during friendship that will continue after marriage. In as much as friendship is good, if you do it well, because most friendship end up being sour because the process was not kept. So you have to keep to the process of friendship throughout. Therefore, that process of friendship should still be very clean relationship. Because if you actually scatter that process by defiling and all that, then the consummation will not be so interesting. So why it's interesting for us is that the process was still kept very clean until the consummation, even until marriage. And that's one thing I also want to bring to your table. And that also gives you some kind of level of confidence. And it doesn't also jeopardize the whole thing. So expect changes. Changes are constant. That's what people say, right? Expect changes. And those changes doesn't mean the person was pretending. That is the notion that a lot of people have.
So are you saying that those changes you might see in marriage does not necessarily mean the person was pretending, or the person no longer has love for you?
90% of changes, if you observe it very well, is not about love. And that's why I said, differentiate love and fantasies. There are certain things I do. Taking my wife to Mr. Biggs is not love.
Let's not use Mr. Biggs. Let's just use Idris.
Okay, to Idris.
No, know what you're talking about.
To Idris, it's not love, right? Those are just fantasies that surrounds around maybe when you are trying to put some expression. That's not love. It comes from the heart. So if I stop Idris today, and then I replace it with something even much more better, which would make sense? For example, Idris, probably I spend maybe 200 euros, for example, or $200, for example, and I'm giving you $500, probably maybe weekly, which is I would have spent even like less than that, half or less than half of that. Does that mean that I'm no longer loving you because I don't take you to the place I used to do before then? Of course no. So let's differentiate when things are changing and love. What makes love, make up love? I will say that in a different video, so that by the time you want to say, as love changed, does this person still love me, or is this person not loving me any longer? You will refer to that video and check what is actually love, because we mix a lot of things up. We mix sensuality, we mix feelings, and a lot of things as love. These are not the roots of love. These are just like, what I call it, appetizers. For example, appetizers. These are just appetizers of the love. Like maybe what they put on salad, all those dressing of, these are just dressing. The love itself is actually something rooted under. But many ladies, they run away from love and go for appetizers, and they get really injured along the line.
So don't change the dial, stay put, subscribe, like, comment and share, and let's have fun together. We'll be right back. Why is it on low?
Make you come high, make your ministry. I say we give you height so that we help your ministry. You're looking for more chair. Eh?
I'm looking so huge now.
I'm helping your ministry so that you look at it as if you're tall.
I said,
so I'm just trying to help you.